Hi everyone, my name is Jen, Backcountry Stitcher, and this is my channel all about cross stitch. And if you are new here, thank you so much for visiting and taking the opportunity to click on that little icon. And if you're coming back, it's really good to see all of you. Welcome back. And I have stuff today. I'm just going to put this out there. I'm really disorganized today. I was not even sure I was going to be able to film a Flosstube. I had some stuff going on this week that was a little bit unexpected. So I wasn't sure this was going to happen, but I made it happen. So it's been, I think, about 3 weeks since I last saw you guys. So I have quite a bit to show you. I have actually 2 finishes. One's a SAF, a start and finish, and another is a finish that you guys have seen. And then I have a bunch of whips, and I just have a little bit in acquisitions, really not much, like 2 things, I think, to show you guys. So anyway, so let's just jump right in and get started. So let's start with my finishes. Okay. So I was working on the Cricut collections. I'm working on their season pieces, and I have been trying to work on them during the seasons that they are taking place in. So I have just finished my spring. I'm going to show this to you guys, but I did do a test thing because I wasn't sure how it was going to show up, and maybe I'm going to try turning my ring light off for this to see if that works better. So let's see if this works better, actually. So here, a little bit, not really. I think it actually is better this way, but so this is spring. It gets a little bit washed out, especially the S and the G, especially that S on camera, but in person, it's really nice. It's really nice pastel-y color. So I did finish this. Not too long. I think this week I finished this, like on Sunday. It's about a week ago. And I think it came out really pretty. I did not do this on the called for fabric because for as washed out as it looks like this, it really doesn't, like I said, it doesn't in person. But the fabric that they chose for the model stitch, I really didn't like. It just washed everything out. So I went with this. This is, I forget. It's from Under the Sea Fabrics though. I'm sorry. If I can, I'll insert it in here. It's a 32 count Lugana. It's stitched 2/2. And I think it's really cute. So I worked on this. At Stitch North, at Stitch Nanigans, and just kind of went on a push to finish it the last week or so because I wanted to make sure it was done in time for me to start summer, which I think is, it's coming up. I want to say the summer solstice is June 20th. June 20th, that sounds right. So that is coming up, and I need to kit that project up and figure out a fabric for it. So, but it will be my last one. I've done autumn, winter, and spring now. So so I have just the one left, which is really, really nice. So that is my spring finish, and I'm planning on, so here's my idea. Tell me if this is a bad idea or not. I'm thinking about getting a shadow box that will fit these, and I don't know if I'll be able to find that or if I'll have a custom shadow box, and then putting these on like foam board, all the same size, and just like switching them in. I guess I could do it in a frame too. I may have talked about this before now that I think about it, and kind of just switching them out for the seasons. So I kind of want to get on that. I'm really bad at FFOing things unless I drop it off at a framer, which I can't pay for framing for all of my projects. I would love to, but I just can't. So I'm gonna have to figure out FFOing stuff myself, and I'm really bad at it. So I just like run out of time, really, is the other issue. So my next one is a SAF. So it's a start and finish since I last saw you, and I'm pretty impressed with myself. I got this done so quickly. So this is a buttons and beads, a Mill Hill buttons and beads project. It is the Hummingbird, and I will just show it to you. Have it here, and there it is. So there's the little bee button. And there's tons of beads all in this wing here and in these flowers, especially this flower had a lot of beads in it. And my husband was like, it's not done. And I was like, no, that's how it's charted. So it's charted to not be fully filled in. So this one, I always complain. I don't know, maybe I'll find another frame, but like the Mill Hill frames, they're nice because they're made for these projects, but they are really kind of a pain in the butt to work with, the actual frames. So I've not used 2 of them. I've complained each time, but I've always been really happy with the result. So I might just get the frame for this one too. I don't know. It's just the easiest too. So this one I like. It's not my favorite of what I've done because I'm not sure how I feel about like, this is like outlined with just no stitching here. I would have preferred there to be stitching, and I guess I could have added it, but they're so skimpy on the floss they give you anyway that like, I mean, I ran out of one of the colors. I think this green right here, I actually ran out of. And thankfully they used DMC. So I was able to just pull from stash some that I happened to have. Actually, it was in my matzah cover piece. And so I was able to finish it, but they're pretty stingy on floss. So that's part of the reason I didn't like add any stuff. So not my favorite, but it's my husband's favorite. He loves it. So I think I'm going to start. I have another one of these that I picked up at Stitch North. That's like a camping piece. And I think I'll start on that one soon. Yeah. It is a bit of a process for me to start on these because the way I do it is I sew fabric all around the edges, and then I put this in a Q-snap, and then I put that on my Lowry stand. So to all of you, those that can stitch this in hand, kudos to you. I am fully incapable of it. Completely incapable of stitching these in hand. I tried doing the honeybee one. That was, if you've been watching this channel for any amount of time, you may remember the honeybee drama, but yeah. So, and thank you to Elisa from eCrafting in Colorado for that idea. Greatly appreciate that. You should watch her channel too, if you don't. Okay, so those are my finishes. Oh, you know what? I thought I'd share this. I don't know if I've shared this before, but this happened. I pulled this out. So this is one I finished a long time ago. And my sister, she went to like England and Scotland one time, and she found these little, like this little kit. I don't think I've shared this before, but they were, it was a kit for a bookmark and a keychain, which the keychain, my husband's actually out driving the 4Runner that we put the keychain on. But look at this. Look at this little bookmark. Wee Highland cues. So I found this, I haven't really used it, but it came like as a full kit, like, you know, with the backing and everything. So I just thought I'd share that because I had pulled it out to show someone, and then I couldn't remember if I had showed it on my Flosstube, but yeah, I thought that was really cute. This is one of the best gifts my sister has ever gotten me. I thought it was just the sweetest thing. Okay, so let's get into, now I'm a little excited because 3 of my projects are off of the Q snaps. So I'll be able to show you my 2 Mirabilias and one of my full coverages. I'll start with, everything's in a pile next to me. There is no rhyme or reason to how I am showing these projects. So yeah. So this is, I will start with Disintegration. So this one is actually off of the Q snap because I finished, so I've modified how I'm stitching my full coverages now a little bit. So definitely my Hade, which is this project, my Disintegration, I've switched to stitching by page while still kind of bleeding over into the next page, which you'll see in a second, so that I hopefully don't get page lines. But I finished a page, so I'm 3 pages done, which is very exciting. And I have started doing a cross-country style, but here it is. And so you can see how over here I'm bleeding into that page, that 4th page of it. And I'm stitching, I'm gonna be stitching row by row. It's just the easiest for me, I think. I don't know, because I'm in kind of like what I've referred to as background hell right now. And is this showing? I feel like I could have tightened this a little, I don't know. There we go. It's better when you look at it from far away. But there's a lot of background happening right now. So maybe I'll switch down and do a square here to kind of get away and then come back here. But I think I'm going to start getting into more of this, like, because it's the, do I have the cover photo? Maybe. Wait for it. So yes, I have the cover photo. So this is what it's going to look like. So I'm kind of in this area right here. I'm actually past the halfway point along the top. So I think it is going to start getting more interesting over here. We've got more of these, like, I don't know. I think it's actually still just a lot of background. So I might come down and do this and then switch back here. I don't know. Because these colors back here, like, they just get really, I don't mind the browns, but like, I don't know. Any of you guys that have stitched full coverage kind of know that when there is a lot of background, it just can get a little monotonous. Monotonous but annoying, because it's never just like block stitching. It's like, it's kind of all over the place to give it that more deep, like, color to it. But if you look up really close, it looks a hot mess. This is stitched just on 20 count Aida, and it is stitched 2/1 on 20 count Aida. So again, you look at it closely, it's just, you know, kind of a mess, but you look at it from farther away, it looks really good. I don't know if I would use 20 count Aida again. I'm using it on Warrior Kitty too, so I either would move to 25 count 1/1 or 18 count 2/1. Because all of my Dimensions kits are 18 count 2/1, my Dimensions Gold collection ones, and I feel like the coverage is really good. I just feel like it's a little bulky, so on the 20 count, but I mean, some of my friends, like Julie from Stitching at the Cabin, she is stitching, I don't know the full name of it, but her keto pattern is, she's stitching it 2/1 on 25 count. And she says it can get a little bulky sometimes, but she doesn't seem to have a problem with it. So I don't know. I think now that I'm using Q snaps, it's easier on the 20 count than it was when I was using the frame, the scroll frame. So that is Disintegration. that will be going back into the Q-snap soon, so I can keep working on it. Okay, I am gonna leave these out, yeah, so that I can take photos of them. All right, what do we have next? Okay, so next is my reindeer. This is part of the Cottage Garden Samplings, A Year in the Woods. This is number 12. And I think the last time you guys saw this, I had done like the body, most of the body up here, and one of the legs, or at least part of one of the legs. I'm gonna be inserting pictures of what they looked like. So, ooh, I didn't even take my clampies off of it. So I have definitely added, and I told you I'm a hot mess today. Hot mess. That's okay. So I definitely finished both legs, and I added a bit more up here to the chest. So I'm about ready to start moving on to the neck. Yeah. Now I use this as a travel piece. So this is what I stitch on when I'm at the airport or when I'm on a plane. I stitch on this. So it hasn't gotten as much progress as I would like it to. Although I just, I earned my, well, I got a new, I got a new credit card, and it lets me into the Delta Lounge at the airports, because I travel so much. It kind at this point it made sense, and so now it's much easier to stitch at the airport when you're in the Delta Lounge. So I have tables and stuff I can lay my stuff out on. Yeah. So hopefully that will get some more progress. Yeah. I have, I'm trying to think. Yeah, my next trip I have coming up is like I'm teaching the first weekend in July. So I had kind of a little bit, I was supposed to be teaching this weekend, but we had to reschedule that one. That's okay. I'm fine taking a few weeks. Speaking of travel pieces, so this is Scenic Farm from Dimensions, and this is just one of their standard dimensions, which it really just means it's not full coverage. It still uses all the blends and French knots, and is still complicated, but it just isn't full coverage, even though this is like mostly full coverage. I mean, this is all stitched except for like some areas of the snow down here. So, and this is just on the 18 count kit Ada. And I really debated whether or not to show this to you guys, because I have only, what have I done? I stitched on this in the hotel. I think when I was at Stitch North, I don't know. You're not even going to be able to see what I did here because compared to last time. So this is where I'm at now. And yeah, you absolutely cannot see what I did because it is so light. I stitched this in here, like added some to that. That is it. Again, you can see why I debated even showing this. So I'm really, because like my brain's kind of fried at the end of the day. And so that's just block stitching. And it's pretty easy for me to do and not to think about too much. And yeah, so But it is a whip. Oh, I guess I should technically take a picture of it. Yeah. It is a whip, so I am going to show it. Okay. Next one. I'm not fully unrolling, but this one, hold on one second. I forgot to get the cover picture again for this. This is Drake Warrior Kitty. And I've been working on him last week, really. He's just like, my full coverage is I get them set up and I'll work on them for like 3 to 5 days in a row. And then they get put away for a little while. And he's kind of at the end of his 5-day stretch. So, yeah, so I actually made some decent progress. Let me put this away really quick. And I think I'm just gonna hold this back here behind it, just so there he is. So since the last time I saw you guys, I think I don't think the eye was finished when I last saw you guys. I don't think it was fully finished, but I finished out the nose. And like I said, I switched to more cross-country style, but still working on a diagonal, just cross-country. Like, so I'll, work down and then work up and work down, or I'm just picking my symbols based on the next diagonal. Yeah. And then I just kind of cross country it. So I'm using the diagonal to help pick which stitch I'm doing, or which symbol I'm working on. But then I just kind of go where it takes me. So yeah, so his face is really there now. I mean, again, this is one of those ones where if you look at it really close, it's not too bad, but it's definitely kind of it's not as bad as Disintegration, I feel like, but you pull back, he looks amazing. So he is, I think I'm at 86%-ish, 86%, that sounds right. So, I mean, I'm on track to finish him this year, in theory. I don't know. It's already June, so maybe not. I'd really like to finish him this year, so I'd also like to get to 25% on my Disintegration, but that's not happening, so I'd like a lot of things. That's not happening, so we'll see. But he is so cute. So cute. And these like whiskers, like, again, when you look up close, they just are like a mess. Like there are all these like really weird colors, and like there's 6 million colors in each whisker. And then you pull it back and you're like, wow. It's so amazing how this works. How these full coverages work. This is by the Cross Stitch Studio. And this is also on 20 count Ada 2/1. So that is Warrior Kitty. And then I think I just have 2 more to show you. And these are my Mirabilias, which it seems to be that I always show my Mirabilias last. So this one is Lilith of Labrador. And let me find her cover photo. So that's Lilith. Sorry if you guys can hear my dog barking. My husband just got home. So that's Lilith. And let's see, I'm pretty far along on her. Where am I? Oh, okay. So I am almost 3/4 of the way done with this. Well, okay. So I split my patterns into quarters on these mirrors. So I stitched, like, because the patterns are split into half, like top half and bottom half, but I split them even further into quarters, and you'll be able to see here what I mean by that. And so I'm almost done with the the third quarter. So this is on 32 count Lugana in the color Tsunami, and I love this. It's by Be Stitch Me, sorry, by Be Stitch Me. So got all of this done here, and then I just have this part down here to finish before I'm done with this section. So, and then I'll be able to move on to the last section. So this one's moving along a lot faster than I thought it would. And a lot of that is because like this is very blocky stitching. There's gonna be a bunch of beads in there. It's gonna make it look so pretty. But the tail is pretty blocky as far as the stitching goes, so it does move along pretty quickly, which is nice, but it still is beautiful. I mean, just because it's block stitching doesn't mean it's not pretty, right? It's gorgeous. She definitely looks so much better stitched up than on the mock-up. I really was like a little unsure about Lilith, but when I started stitching her, she's just incredible. So I'm not sure about her hand though here. Kind of looks like a fish fin. I don't know, maybe that's how it's supposed to look. But it's nice when you pull it back. So that's Lilith. She's gonna go back in the Q-snap too. And then the last one I have to show you is my Cathedral Woods Goddess. And let me see. Where is her? Oh, here it is. Okay, so this is what she's going to look like, sort of, because she's a lot prettier in person. And I am actually 3/4 of the way done on this one with the way I, well, sort of. I'll show you. But yeah, I'm pretty much done with one side. Hang on, I just like threw a needle somewhere. So you're gonna go right there. And you can hear. So this is Cathedral Woods Goddess. And she is stitched on 32 count Lugana in the color Heritage by Picture This Plus. And this board is not big enough for her because she is very, very long, but I will show this. So here she is. So I just have this section to do, but I finished all of the leaves and back stitching here. The only thing is there's one leaf that goes kind of across here, and I wanted to wait to do that because it uses the Karen Water Lily, and I wanted to make sure I stitched it all together so that the blend, because it's variegated, so I wanted to make sure the variegation like was, what's the word? Consistent, I guess. So I just am waiting to do that last, basically. But there's so much Krennic in this, you guys. And I will tell you, if you decide to stitch this, you need more Krennic than what they call for, especially with the golds. They call for 3 spools of, hang on, wait for it. Yeah, so it calls for 3 spools of the 202 HL, which I'm gonna be through. I mean, I still have a whole other, so I'm almost done with those 3 spools, and I still have all of this over here to do. And the 1 spool of the 102Cs, I don't think gonna last me. The 021, I barely had enough, and I'm hoping if there's any more, which there might be right here, I'm gonna need another spool. So if you do decide to do this, just get more Krennic than they tell you to. Everything else is fine, but the Krennic, yeah. So she is stunning. And this is another one I'm hoping to have finished. I'm going to the Queen City Stitch Retreat, and I'm really excited for that because it's the Mirabilia themed retreat, and I get to meet my good friend Kelly in person for the first time. We are friends through YouTube and Instagram and, you know, chatting through there and through meeting on Zooms with Carla from Carla Being Crafty, who hosts Zooms. So if you haven't checked her out, you should. And it's great because it's just great to connect with other stitchers that I normally wouldn't connect with because they live in completely other parts of the country. So I think she'll be done by that point too. So I might have two for the brag table. I'm hoping to get started on red. I do have a fabric now that I think is going to work. I just haven't put her in a Q-snap yet. So let me put this away before I lose it. So these will be back in the Q-snaps the next time you see them, I believe. Yeah, I kind of like got to the point where I had to move the Q-snap, and I would have kept working on them, but then I was like, I'll leave them out so I can show them on my Flosstube. And yeah, so I'm glad I did. So as far as like acquisitions go, I don't have much. I did get the fabric of the month from Bestitch Me, which everyone should have gotten by now. It's I get the 32 count Lugana, and this is the color Gorgeous Grape. And yeah, it's showing up pretty true to color, but the modeling is a lot more. I feel like when you show these on camera, the modeling becomes like a lot more apparent. It just like washes out the light part of it because it's much more subtle than this in person, but this darker color is showing up pretty true to color. So love it. Not sure what I'm gonna eat. I have ideas, but I'm not sure yet, so I'm not gonna say them. And then the only other piece of acquisition that I wanted to show is I got and I meant to show this last time, but I totally forgot. So Jen from What Are You Doing Studios, she makes cross-stitch themed like hats and shirts and sweatshirts, and I got this hoodie from her, and it's like, I think it's called beige. I think it's just beige. Eat, sleep, cross it. It is super comfortable, you guys. I would live in this if it was socially acceptable to live in a sweatshirt. So it's a nice hoodie with big pocket and super comfy. So you can check out, I'll link her studio or her Etsy shop below. But she is fantastic. I definitely recommend checking out her shop. I've purchased a hat from her, t-shirt. I will probably purchase more when I see her again. I think she's going to be at Stitch West in October, and I think she's going to be a vendor there, but I'm not sure. So, have not confirmed that. But I saw her, I actually met her at last year's Stitch West, but I actually got to sit and stitch with her, at Stitch Shenanigans this year. So that was great. So that's all I have. That's all I have. So not a super long video today. Yeah, life has been fine. I've been a little bit busy. I'm still teaching, but I have the first part of this year was a little bit jam-packed with the teaching stuff. It definitely is slowing down, which is fine. Like I'm not complaining about that in the least. It is fine. So it's slowing down a little bit, but I still have several ones booked. Like I said, I'm going first weekend of July, so it might be a few more weeks. Well, hopefully I'll get to film in a couple of weeks beforehand, but we'll see. I have don't have any more stitching retreats coming up until October. The next one is Queen City Stitch Retreat in Charlotte, so that will be fun. And then I'm just working, dealing with some life stuff, nothing too exciting. I did get to do surgery on a harbor seal a couple weeks ago, so that was fun. Worked with the zoo on that one, and otherwise, yeah. Oh, I did get a new car too, so in case anyone cares. I got a Mazda CX-5 and I love it so much. I loved my last car too, but she was a 2010 CX-9 with 180 something thousand miles on it, and it was her time. It was her time. So I got a new car. I'm really excited about that. And yeah, nothing else. So I am just rambling right now, and I will hopefully be back. Let's see, it's June 3rd. So I should be back in a couple of weeks. I'll try to get on the weekend before I have to travel, because otherwise I think it'll be like a month or so. But I try to do these when I can. I try to do them every 2 weeks, but that has not been the case recently. It's just life. So anyway, I will see you guys in a few weeks, and definitely like and subscribe and leave a comment if you got this far, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.